Hello. Always do have to do that. Hello. Hi. I wanted to talk to you about some tips for doing your final project topic to help you in case you're struggling a little bit. So, I'm going to send me off to the side here a little bit. Let's see. Okay. And then I'm going to go down to the next slide. Okay. And so maybe I'll even, could I do this? I'm still learning this. Let's see. I wonder if I, oh, yeah, and I can go like that. Okay. Um, anyway, in this video, I want to talk about selecting a topic and then subtopics, and then use your books example maybe to help a little bit. Okay. All right. This thing. Okay. All right. Now bring me back up. No, here. All right. So, anyway, so many of you have come up with topics, and they're all really good topics, like gardening, and some of you have topics I don't know anything about, and that's okay. That's not bad. Um, and One of the things I wanted to tell you is that in a real life situation, either you would get an idea from a database for you personally, or else it would be presented to you like at a company or something like that. So being in this situation where you're having to come up with a topic and the subtopics is kind of challenging, and I can understand that, especially when you're just learning. So yeah, all right, I'm going to go to the next slide. All right, then bring me back over. Okay, so anyway, oh, oh yeah. So if we bring up a topic, coming up with subtopics, you need to have, because you need to have 3 subtopics for your final project in order to make sure that you have a good quality project. Now, some of you might have more, and that's okay, although I would tell you to be careful not to overwhelm yourself with too much. You can, some of these work projects, for example, they can, spiral out of control, and you've only got a small amount of time to work on this final project. So make sure that you keep it in check. Okay. Um, anyway, so there are things about subtopics that are tricky, because subtopics sometimes you think, well, I can break it down by categories. Like with music, I could make it, like music from the 70s and music from the 80s and music from the 90s or whatever. And those are all categories, but the problem with that is that the fields overlap. Okay? And you want, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, okay. You want overlapping fields. I mean, you don't want overlapping fields. So let's take an example I saw online of schedules for chores versus schedule for kids' chores. Okay, now think about that. If you were to come up with fields for that, they would be a lot the same. You might have a few different fields, but they would probably be a lot the same. Now, I really don't know this person's personal life, and maybe there's enough variation between the two areas that there would be lots of different fields for each topic. But I do want to caution you that you do need 3 topics where you need to be able to collect data on those different topics, and they need to have different field sets for them. Um, So another example, like I said, with music types, will um, the different music types in general probably have the same fields. Now, I don't know everything there is to know about fields, I mean about music, and somebody that's an authority on music, they may be able to come up with hugely different fields that are related to different genres. And in that case, it makes sense, you know. So you have to kind of um, think about that. When I pick the topic of health, you think food intake. Well, there's lots of different fields about food intake, when you know how many calories the food is, and the amount of food, and the kind of food, and those fields would be different than the supplements that you would take, for example. And definitely the fields for exercise would definitely be different than supplements. Okay? Um, so um, I just want to make sure that you're understanding this concept so that you can build a good final project. Um, Finally, I wanted to show you the books example, or not show you, but talk about the books example to give you another example. In the book, they have a veterinary business and they have tables, and I don't think these are the only tables that it has, but I was just coming up with the three that I could find quickly. And so one is animal, another is visit, and another is owner. And you'll notice that each one of those tables has different fields in it. So, you know, those are different subtopics to have different fields in it. So hopefully that kind of helps you to understand more about what you need to do in order to develop this database. There were a few people who talked about music. They talked about having music in movies, and those are definitely two different subtopics. And, you know, I just happened to think, well, if you had something where you had another one where you tracked uh, how they intertwined, you know, maybe the music got used in a movie, and the movies, um, maybe the actors in the movies got sang music or something like that. Um, there are many times where you can say, for those of you who have learned and understand many-to-many relationships, there are many times where there's two different entities and they interact. And so the two entities exist, and then the interaction is a table in and of itself. For example, you could have tutors and students, and the interaction would be the meetings, the tutoring sessions that they have together. So those are three topics right there, because there's three sets of fields. Okay. Anyway, email me if you have any more questions. I'm going to go ahead and leave the discussion topic for the final project open for a while, and so that people can post more if they want and brainstorm more. Anyway, all right, on to the next video I shall make. Talk to you later.